I got tired of people thinking I was stupid. Like,
no, seriously. Like, we have thoughts.
yeah, like we are
actually very.
Welcome back to Get Cozy with Josie. I'm your host, Josie Lentner, and I'm here with a special guest, my friend Jaya.
Hi, thank you for having me. Hi, guys.
So, how are you?
I'm good. It's been a crazy couple months, but I've been staying afloat, been working. How are you?
I'm doing good. I feel like a lot of people, what people don't know about you, and I love to like pick out things that people don't know about my guest on the show, is that you've been busy and you've been like under the scenes because you're in sports journalism.
Yeah, literally down to the wire right now. I did an accelerated master's program, so I'm at the University of Miami right now, finishing out my master's.
Yeah.
I walk in May next month, so I'm super excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And yeah, it's just been a lot of me getting down to the wire in this last semester, completing my capstones and finishing my reels, my portfolios, all that fun on-camera stuff. So, yeah, a lot of work, but it's been fun. It's been fulfilling.
I feel like it's a really fun like industry to get into. How do you even get into sports journalism? Because I feel like that's more of a male-dominated scene.
It is. It definitely is. I think, well, I did study journalism in my undergrad degree, but I didn't really hone in on the sports aspect until probably my senior year, and I didn't really have enough internships or like on-camera sports experience that I felt confident to try and go and get jobs right away. So I kind of focused more on modeling after I had my degree and decided to go back and really refine it this past year. So, but no, I got into it, I think, just because I was a dancer my whole life. And in college, I was actually on dance team in my undergrad. I was on the Hurricanettes, and I loved just game day. I've always loved game day, and I never really knew what I wanted to do in school. I knew that I was going to go to school and I wanted to have an education, but a big part of school for me, just like any athlete, for a long time, I identified more with my sport than with what I was doing academically. Like, I just loved being a dancer. I knew I wanted to dance in college. And when that chapter of my journey ended, I realized that I just love performance and I love interacting with fans and I love being a part of game day in a way that's more than just being a fan. And I realized that even if it's not through dance, I can still be a part of game day and offer myself to that industry in a different way, and even a more fulfilling way, because with reporting and interviewing and getting to know people, that connection is even deeper. And I already kind of was really familiar with being in front of thousands of people, talking, presenting in front of people, came a little bit more naturally to me. So I decided to go into broadcast journalism and studied TV, studied news, reporting, writing, all that fun stuff.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Yeah, that's me.
I feel like I'm going to see you on like ESPN.
I hope so, girl. Step one is get this degree, but
Yeah.
I do feel good. I feel so much more prepared and refined just taking this program seriously, because I feel like a lot of times in undergrad, you're first of all, you're having fun, and you're not sure what you want to do for so many of those years. So a lot of that time, at least for me, I was too distracted and I was too unsure to really like be intentional through school and through networking. So it's been really healing for me in a way to go back and do more of that, especially now that I'm more mature and kind of got all the distractions out of my system, being in Miami especially. So yeah.
Not Miami distractions. Talk more about that. What do you mean?
Girl, what do you mean? What do you mean? We live in Miami.
I know, and then we also model.
We model, and modeling is amazing and super fulfilling. And I think when modeling was
Yeah.
picking up for me, I really wanted to go that way. And I still do. Like, I'm not done
Yeah.
with my modeling career, but I think it took me a while to be like, you don't have to just be one thing. Like, I can
Yeah.
be multifaceted, but it was just having the energy to pour into this and this and this. So I've been working on that and definitely just prioritizing my time. But I definitely think when I was younger, and going out into the city, I wanted to have fun and explore. And
Yeah.
like, there's so much to do, there's so much fun to be had. And honestly, a lot of people in Miami aren't really doing those types of things. Like, they're not, a lot of people are either entrepreneurs or working remote or doing other things where they have the free time to kind of party or have fun or make their money from whatever mysterious way they're making
Yeah.
their money. So it just seemed like everyone else is having so much fun all the time. I want to have fun too. You know,
Yeah.
I want to go on these yachts and go out and whatever, whatever. But priorities came with age, maturing, da da da.
Yeah.
So
But it's also so easy being like a girl in Miami.
for sure.
You get access to so many things, and I feel
Oh
like it's
yeah.
an easy way to like have your fun and get it out of your system. Because it's not like, I feel like when people come into town and they're not used to like the Miami lifestyle, they're just like, oh yeah, or this, and they try to like do everything. And then when you're here and it's so accessible to you, after a while it does kind of like get old.
Yeah. And it does, like, you sound crazy to someone that doesn't live here.
Yes, you
Like, I'm
do.
like, ugh, I don't want to go on another yacht today. Like,
Yeah.
I remember one time I was like complaining to my mom, and she's like, do you even hear yourself? Like, what are you talking about? And that's so true.
Yeah.
It becomes just like life here. But
I know.
also, that helped me realize you're never truly missing out if you turn something down. It's not going anywhere.
100%.
It's literally, it's gonna be something new every week here, which I love about the city. But yeah, I think if you don't have that like innate discipline already instilled when you get here, a lot of people kind of get lost or distracted for a little bit. And I think that's okay. Like, it's
Yeah.
part of the human experience. I don't regret anything.
No,
I
you
had
shouldn't.
so much fun. I will have stories for years to tell my
Yeah.
grandkids. Like,
But I also feel like the fun never necessarily like ends. I feel like we get into this
yeah.
mindset of it's like, okay, I'm gonna have my fun and then I'm gonna settle down and then I'm not gonna have this fun anymore.
True.
But I feel like if you're the type of person where like you love life, like I love life and I love to experience things, I'm always going to like have fun. It's just might not be on the same scale or it might not
a
be as frequent.
balance.
Yeah.
It's a balance. It's a balance. I was watching. Have you seen Meghan Markle's show on Netflix?
I haven't seen it yet. I really want to watch it.
It's like she is living in a delusional fantasy land. I am so jealous of her. Like, to me, that's like what life is.
Yeah.
They live in California now. You know, she left the
Yeah.
royal family. She has this elaborate garden. She has a chicken coop. She gets fresh eggs, herbs, like all of her fruits, vegetables, her herbs are all homegrown. And she started a cooking show, and she just brings all of her famous friends over and is making all of these dishes from scratch. She's basically like a Nara Smith.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's getting
And I'm
trad
like,
life.
imagine just having the luxury and the freedom to just live organic. That sounds fun to me. Like, I think
Yeah.
fun doesn't have to just be partying, whatever. It can also be fun
Yeah.
to settle down. It can be fun to really dive into your career. But like, that type of fun has to get cut out at a point if you want to go somewhere, you know?
No, 100%. I mean, even like over the weekend, I said no to a yacht because I had to edit and work for my
Girl, I have said no to
Yeah.
more yachts, or not even just yachts, just opportunities to do
yeah.
anything. Trips, even like trips to go out of town, whatever.
Ooh.
Like, I really can't go if I want
Yeah.
to finish strong.
You gotta lock
and
in.
really be proud. Like, I want to walk down that stage next month and be so proud of the discipline and the hard work I put in. And it's just like, saying no has been a really new part of my life that but it's honestly not even so bad, because it's
Yeah.
like there will be other opportunities, and right now I need to be my biggest focus. And I think it just shows how much I've grown and matured.
I love that.
Yeah.
And no, I honestly really, really love that.
I love it too.
Yeah.
I love that for me.
I love that for you. No, because saying no is such like, it's so nice. I love saying no. I'm a retired people pleaser. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Me
I still
too.
do
I'm
things.
working on being a retired people pleaser.
And I feel like you never 100% retire because, like, when you love people and you care about people, you're going to do things for them that you don't necessarily want to do. But now I feel a lot more comfortable just saying no to when it really doesn't serve me or when I don't have the energy.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'll OD myself. Like, I will overwork myself regularly because I do, like, a million things. And I just, like...
And I always wonder, like, especially for women, why is it so hard to choose yourself? Like, I think it's something about female nature. Not saying that men can't be people pleasers too, but I feel like it's a woman issue more of, like, we're so nurturing, and it's like our human nature is to give and put others' needs before our own. And I honestly admire that men don't really have that. Men are innately a little bit more selfish.
They are.
They prioritize their needs and their time over anything else. And that's why a lot of times we can feel like we're giving so much to people and not getting it back. And it has been really empowering as I've gotten older to just start to think like a man a little bit more in that way. Of just like, my needs come first, what I need to do comes first. And then if I have time to give to other people, I will. But that's definitely just not something that comes naturally to me at all.
I would agree. It's the same thing for me. But I also feel like a lot of the reasons why we're so, I mean, apart from just like genetically and like being givers, like women are coded to be that way.
Yeah.
I also feel like society has made us forget that we're meant to receive. Like the divine feminine is like an energy of receiving. And a lot of times we get lost in what society wants of us, and we always get lost in like having to be perfect, that we forget that we don't have to push for things to happen. Like feminine energy is not necessarily waiting, but it's intentional action. It's being able to know that what you want is coming for you and you don't have to do much to receive it.
I love that. I love that. I never even thought about it that way.
So
That
that's
is
what
so
I've been
true.
working on is like being comfortable receiving and not overworking, but working intentionally.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think too with the perfectionism, it's hard to just put your trust in that. And just let things come to you. Because when you're a perfectionist, you just want to control everything. And that's just not the reality of life.
No.
And even though we know that, like we still innately have, at least me, I have that nature of just, I still want to control everything.
But I also think that's because you're a Capricorn like me.
Is that a Capricorn
It
thing?
is a Capricorn thing.
It's
like, I'm a control
Is that what it
freak.
is? You know, I try to fight the Capricorn stereotypes.
Me too. I feel like I don't.
Every day, and it's like, damn it. Maybe that is what it is. Because, I don't know. I mean, we do. We value our work, and we want our work to be good.
And we work hard.
And we work hard. But I think and there's nothing wrong with that. I think the con side of, if we're doing the Capricorn thing, is just how hard we are on ourselves. Like, half the time, I just have to stop. I have to talk myself out bullying myself.
Yeah, me too. I started working on like how I speak to myself.
Yeah. Me
When
too.
other people would point out how mean I was to myself. And like the things I would say to myself and the things I would say that I think about myself, people would literally look at me like, why do you think that?
People do that to me too. All the
Yeah.
time. They're like, Jaya.
Like, what is wrong with you?
Or they'll be like, who told you that? Like, if I'm like, no, people think this. And they're like, well, who told you that? Like, what made you think that?
Yeah.
And it's like, no one said that. You're just making up this narrative in your head that's not true. That's rooted out of your own negative perceptions. And that's so crazy. That's like, why is that a Capricorn thing?
You know, I don't want to say that it is, but I feel like we are some of the harshest on ourselves.
Yeah.
because there was a point in my life where I used to believe that I had to like beat myself down first before the world.
Anyone else.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like we're trying to like analyze all potential threats
Yeah.
and like prepare ourselves for it, and it's like I wish I was just a natural optimist, but I think for people like me, you have to genuinely work at it every day to remind yourself to be kind to yourself. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
So bizarre. Even when I'm like the most accomplished in my life, I still don't soak that in.
You're like, what's next?
Yeah, or I'm like,
Yeah.
that was cool, but that's not that impressive. Like,
I know. I've had people look at me crazy because it's like, you just did this. And I'm like, I guess.
even for this whole getting my degree, I'm like, no, this is a good thing. Like,
Yeah.
this is a big deal. I'm like, part of me is like, no, it's not.
Because it's like, I mean, I was supposed to get it. So it's
Yeah,
like,
like
what am
this
I?
is expected of me.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, Jaya, stop. Literally, like you have to stop yourself in your tracks. So that's been another thing. I think those are the two things internally I've been working on is that discipline and, saying no, having boundaries, and then being kind to my own mind.
You know what actually helped me? And I feel like now I'm at a place in my mind where I'm not negative to myself at all, which is like crazy.
I love that.
And that's why I like laugh so much looking back because I'm like, I used to be like insane to
Like,
myself.
what is wrong with us?
But I used to think this was so stupid. And now I don't do it as much, but affirmations and like looking in the mirror and like saying things to yourself.
It's so
Yeah.
true. It's so true. Like that energy really does flow through you, and you have to remind yourself every day. I just started doing affirmations maybe a month ago, and it's really helped, especially in the morning, like first thing.
Right when you wake up. I mean, I feel like I can like feel it off of you.
Yeah, I literally did them right before I came in here today. And I like to, when I do mine, I like to place my hand on my heart when I say it. It makes you just really feel like that energy. Because if I don't, then all of the negativity is going to come rushing in, and you have to do something to fight that if you really want to unlearn, like, being mean to yourself or being negative.
Yeah.
Like you have to actively fight that. So I understand why people do affirmations.
It's all like reprogramming that negative self-concept. I mean, like, I remember when I first started doing affirmations and I would be saying them to myself and I would like listen to a tape and repeat them. And I would like almost start crying because I'm like, I don't even believe what I'm saying.
No, that's how you know you're in your
Yeah.
That's how you know you're in your healing era, when you start crying, when you're like saying nice things, or like, isn't that wild? I have 100% that, like, I'll be like, my voice is shaking, like, and I'm like trying to say it. And it's like, why is this so hard? Like,
Now it's like I can like rampage. Like I can just go.
This is true. Absolutely.
It's like crazy. I feel like I've used affirmations to redefine like what I think about everything, from myself to even like I feel like I'll do affirmations in regards to like my family and like my relationship with different like members of my family. It will like reflect on that reality with my family, with money, with even like with relationships, with like the types of like guys I attract now. I don't attract as many, but I notice like I don't attract like low vibrational men anymore. They just don't even come towards me.
Well, I love that for you. That's great.
Less
is like more with men.
Yeah.
No
Less
offense.
is way more.
Yeah, less is more for sure.
Especially in Miami.
Especially in Miami. What are what's like your go-to affirmation daily? Like your best one?
Well, the first one that I started with was that like I would always say I'm safe, secure, loved, and adored. And I would say that repeatedly, like I'm safe, secure, loved, and adored. That's my like programmable, like if I need something. But now I more so say things like I'm magnetic. Everything is always working out for my highest good. I am my beauty standard. Like, and because it's like,
I
When you
love that.
model, right? Like it can be tough sometimes because everyone is gorgeous. And then like the job is depending. You don't know if you're gonna get a job. Sometimes you tend to go into comparison.
Oh
And now
God,
I feel like I
yeah.
don't do that anymore because in my reality, I'm the most beautiful person. And then like but that doesn't negate that other people aren't beautiful. It's just that we all have our own thing. Like you're a 10 out of
Yeah.
10, I'm a 10 out of 10. We can both coexist.
Yeah. Yeah, the comparison is something I will say I don't do anymore.
Yeah.
I used to do it really bad with modeling. Um, but I really realized with modeling that it's nothing personal.
Literally nothing at all.
And even if, like, something that used to really bother me was when I would try to go to new agencies or something and they'll be like, oh, well, we already have your look. And I'm like, my look?
Yeah.
Like, there is only one Jaya Williams, and you do not
Yeah.
have her. So how do you already have my look? Just because you already have a girl with curly hair doesn't mean that you already have my look, honey. And I'm like, you know what? I need to keep that mindset because there really is only one me. There's only one you. If they don't see that value in that moment or they don't think that they need it, then that's on them.
Exactly.
That is on them. And I love going where I'm loved and appreciated. Like, you don't want to go, you don't want to work for a designer or a team or an agency that doesn't see the beauty and the unique things in you.
Yeah.
Especially once I get to that interview and you get to know me as a person and my goals and how genuine I am, I'm like, it's really your loss if you don't want
Yeah.
me a part of this team, that's on y'all.
No, it's literally that. It's literally that. Because at the end of the day, it's like my personality is gonna shine more than anything
I
else.
know.
And I
I
hate
wish more
that.
modeling like I wish you could get to the interview more. Because a lot of
Yeah.
times you don't even get to the interview if they see your look and they don't think they need it right now or they don't think whatever it is, if it's a no. You don't even get that chance. But I feel like every time that I've been able to get to that interview part and really show people who I am, it's usually a yes. Because a lot of times people aren't able to also like show who they are or have good answers and be articulated in that way. A lot of modeling, you are kind of just treated like a clothing hanger. Like
Yeah.
you're just a hanger for their clothes. And I think that back when I was just modeling and I wasn't back in school, it was really messing with my mental health
Oh,
because I
yeah.
didn't feel valued. Like even when I went back in August, so I was coming off a great swim week, whatever, but I just felt empty still. And when I went back to school, it was, and that might sound kind of like a first world problem, but I forgot that I was smart. Like, people at school didn't care about what I look like necessarily. I mean, yes, on days where we're filming and on TV, you need to look
Yeah.
together. But, like, when I'm just in the classroom or writing scripts or just getting back to the nitty gritty of, like, camera work and editing and all that stuff, and I was getting praised for like my ideas because I'm not only in school, I'm a TA. So I'm a grading TA for 2 undergrad classes. I mentor and tutor like the undergrad
Yeah.
students, and people like care about what I think and like care about my ideas. Like that matters more than anything else. And they'll be like, "Oh, Jay, what do you think? What do you have to say? Can I have your advice?" And I'm like, "You want my help?"
Advice? Yeah.
It was nice to be looked at as a whole person because in modeling, after so many years just doing that, I just started to kind of feel like I didn't bring any other value. Like I kind of forgot what my other skills were and my talents were.
I'm not gonna lie that it did the same thing to me because it almost like identifies with what you were saying earlier about how sometimes like what you do is what you are.
Yeah, you
So
identify.
yeah. So I was just like, okay, like I'm a model. And then I started to realize like I always knew I was smart. And then I started to realize that like people would see that I'm a model and just not even care about me being
People don't
smart.
treat you like you're smart. And so then
Yeah.
a lot of times you don't think you are. Like I think I
Yeah.
got to a point where I was like, well, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
It
Or
makes you
maybe
lose
maybe
confidence.
I'm not, maybe I'm just only good for this. And like I hate that I ever felt that way or thought that way. And I think a lot of women in beauty industries are like that, and that's why models may get that stereotype of like, oh, most of them are dumb as rocks and don't know what they're saying,
Yeah.
and like maybe a lot of them just haven't been encouraged to think otherwise. Like I work in sports, a lot of athletes are also known as, oh, they're dumb, they don't have any other skills, and like maybe no one ever sat there and encouraged them to pursue academics in the same way they pursued beauty, in the same way they pursued football. And that's why they don't think that they can, you know, because for a while I didn't think I could. Even though I had a degree and I knew deep down I was smart, I forgot.
Yeah.
So of course, like, you know, I think it's so important to remind people that your identity is not just in one thing. You can thrive in so many different areas. Life is so long and there's so much time to explore a million things you could be good at, you
Yeah.
know?
You can be multifaceted.
Yeah, so I would say like learning to not box myself in was a huge life lesson in that.
Well, I'm glad that you did.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really glad that you
Thank
did because
you.
I would always just see you modeling, and I'm like, obviously, like, when we would go into conversation, like, I knew you were smart, but then when we go into like modeling, like, no one looks at us that way.
Not at all.
No
No
one
one
looks
even
at-
cares.
No,
They
literally no
actually
one
would
cares.
prefer that you shut up.
Actually, yeah.
Just shut up and put this outfit on, okay?
I have heard how designers will talk when they realize how opinionated you are.
They
Like,
don't
they're just
prefer
like,
it. I mean, not everyone. I've worked
Yeah.
with some amazing designers, and I've even hosted interviews and
Yeah.
like done things when they realize what my skill sets are, and it's been awesome. But like, you know, there are definitely times where it's like they don't want you.
No.
They just want you to do what they want you to do.
Or they're like
And I get
shocked that you can do anything other than what you do.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I got
mean,
to a
get
point.
it.
I got to a point where I stopped. When I introduce myself to people, don't get me wrong, like I say I'm a model, but that's not what I lead with. That's not, like, I don't
Yeah.
initially lead with that anymore. Because the conversations that people start with me when I lead with something else versus the conversations that they start with me when I say I'm a model are polar opposites.
Yeah. I think it's just like that emphasis on titles. Like
Yeah.
I hate the who are you? What do you do?
I know.
Like
It's like I do a
hate
lot
that
of things.
Yeah, I'm like I am undefined and
Yeah.
unwritten still, and I think that no, we should stop crucifying people for being unwritten or
Yeah.
being a lot of different things. Like I just hate that question. Like, oh, what do you do?
Whenever I get that question, I'm always like, I mean, like, where do you want me to start? Like, I do a lot of different things.
Yeah, I'm in school. I'm studying this.
Yeah,
But
like,
I
do
hate feeling like I'm just listing a resume of like who I am.
Me too, because then it's also like people get confused when you do things that are like polar opposite from each other.
Oh God.
And it's like, why can't I just do that because I wanted to do it? Like, maybe I just felt like doing that on one day, and then I accidentally started doing something that is pivotal to my life, and now it's just one of the things that I do.
Yeah, true. Even back
Yeah.
in my program, like I have my modeling community, I
Yeah.
have my social group, and then I have my like cohort of like all my other friends at school that do television, that do news writing and journalism, and it's just like they're like, "What? What do
But
you
it's
mean?" I'm like, "Yeah,
fun.
so I got my degree, and then for 2 years I was literally just jet setting and traveling the
Yeah.
world and modeling and like doing stuff on social media, and then now I'm
Yeah.
back." And they're like,
Why not?
"This just sounds like crazy." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know. I was
Yeah.
just all over the place. I was living my life, and I think that's normal.
Yeah, I
think
mean,
it's
as
normal
it
to
should
explore
be.
at a young age different things that you want to do."
I mean,
And
it's
I had a blast. I was making great money at that time,
yeah, it's fun though.
having fun, traveling,
Mm-hmm.
working with brands, doing fashion weeks. I was living my dream.
Yeah. And you can still do that while you do everything else that you do. That's my biggest thing. Like, I always tell women specifically, it's like you can do literally everything that you want. Like, I was getting my degree, I was working in tech, I was modeling, I was creating content all at the same time.
It's just that discipline.
Yeah, it's cutting out the nonsense because you do need to
You
cut
have
out
to
the
cut
nonsense.
it out. That's the thing.
Yeah. Like, you can't, because I have had the nonsense while I'm doing all those things, and like, you can still do it, but like, you'll be exhausted as you do it.
Or it's your work's not going to turn out, it's not going to be timely
Yeah.
because you're not waking up and you're not on a schedule or you're not feeling well from everything you've been doing. So it's going to be late, it's going to be delayed, or it's going to be rushed.
Yeah.
So it's like if you want it to just be well done and you're not having anxiety about it, you really do have to cut out the nonsense. If you want to do a million things, which I think
Yeah.
is, I mean, not everyone, also, you don't have to do a million things. I think we are people that
Yeah.
like see all these different visions for our life, but I admire people that also have a narrow focus of like,
They're
I want this and
concentrated.
I'm chasing this. Because sometimes I think having so many eggs in different baskets can make you, like, if you're good at everything, you're not great at anything.
I agree. Yeah, I get that. But I've become more comfortable with being a jack of all trades rather than like a master of one.
True.
Because like life is all about experiences, like what you were saying earlier. I don't necessarily want or care to be a master of any one thing because there's so much that I want to experience and so much that I want to do. Like I'm experienced enough in my own right where I can educate and I can help mentor, but if you need something that goes past me, I'll direct you to the right person.
True.
Yeah.
I'm like that too. That's how I operate. I don't think
Yeah.
either way is right or wrong.
Yeah. Because I also feel like there are probably things that like I guess like we are masters of technically. But
Well,
then
technically, in a month, I'll be a master of journalism.
there you go.
So
Yeah.
no one can take that from me.
That's true. No one
I
can
am a
ever.
master of journalism for life on May 8th.
And I love that. I can't
Yes,
wait.
you have to come to my grad party.
Please. Oh my God, please. I can't wait to celebrate
My
you.
mom is walking with me. So my mom is getting her PhD,
Wow.
and she started her schooling like 3 years ago, but it just works out that we're both finishing because my program was only a year. We're
Yeah.
finishing at the same time, and we're walking in the same ceremony at the same time. I'm so excited.
Oh my God, Jaya. I would like bawl. Like,
No, I feel like I'm gonna cry.
yeah.
I'm gonna like ugly cry. I feel like it's not that it's more her moment than mine, but it's just a big deal for both of us. Like we went back to school together and we're finishing together.
What is she getting her PhD in?
She got it in, I think it's human, either like human resources for communications and education or
Okay.
no, that's not right. It's education sciences. So she's a
Okay.
school teacher. She teaches fourth grade.
Uh,
And she wanted to get a higher degree in like education sciences so that she could do different roles within the education system versus like being in the classroom. And it's a lot better pay too when you're a doctor.
yeah, of
So
course.
yeah, so she went back for that, and then I went back for my master's.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm excited for both of us.
Oh my gosh, that's so
I
cute.
know.
That's so cute. Because aren't you like, you're a mama's girl, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm my mother's only child, and she's been a single mom my whole life. So we really kind of grew up. Like our favorite show is Gilmore Girls because that's literally us. Like we really
Yeah.
grew up, and it was just us. And she felt more like a big sibling or a big sister figure because I didn't really have any other
Yeah.
siblings. And we kind of just grew up together. So my mom is just my best friend, my whole heart. And it's always just me and her against the world.
That's how me and my mom see the world too. I mean, like, I have
Is
an older
it?
brother, but my older brother, he lived in Germany for most of my life because my mom had to leave, like, abruptly with me.
Oh,
So it was always just me and
you
her.
too.
Yeah.
You
And
had a
even
single
she
mom
says it.
too?
Yeah. And even she says it to me.
God.
She's like, but it's always just us. And like, my mom remarried like 2 or 3 years ago. But even she's married and she still is just like, it's just us.
But growing up, when you're
Yeah.
like a single moms, just will forever have like a place in my heart because I couldn't imagine. I just couldn't. And like
Yeah.
even going to school and getting a higher degree and balancing work with my stuff, like I grew up doing competitive dance, like there was no one to help her get me to practice, get me my shoes, whatever I needed,
Yeah.
like all of those fees for being on a team, like even though it was just her, she never made me feel the struggle. Like she would struggle in silence and struggle behind closed doors and just make sure that I always had what I needed.
Yeah.
And I'm so blessed to have that. So yeah, she's one of the strongest women that I know. And single moms, like, shout out to all the single moms. You guys literally deserve the world. I could not imagine how hard it
Yeah.
is. But yeah. So yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
excited for us.
I'm like, if we stay on the topic of moms, I'll start crying. So,
No, I
like,
know. I know. I know.
yeah. I did a campaign not long ago, and they like asked me a bunch of like interview questions, and the last one was my mom, about my mom. And like I couldn't even answer the question because I just immediately like started sobbing. I was like, "Why are you asking me about my mom?"
I know.
I adore her. I
Yeah.
adore her. But that's I can feel like I feel like having a strong like I guess like maternal figure that just does everything for you. It teaches you how to also be a strong woman as you get older. Because like growing up with a single mom, like I've always had this mentality of like obviously I have no problem with like a man providing for me, but I'm always going to make sure that I have my own. I can always provide for myself as well. Because I always saw her doing the same thing for me. Like
Yeah, my mom is so hyper independent. Like,
yeah.
to the point that I'm like, please let someone help you. Like, Jesus. Like,
Oh, like don't get
I'm
it
like,
twisted.
I
Yeah.
can, you want me to hold something? No, I got it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mom, take a deep breath. Like, I get it. You got it. And she's like the type where she's like, men, you don't need them. You literally don't need them.
Yeah.
Like, she's like on the far end of it, which I do appreciate because I think hearing that will make me forever be like, you know what? I'm never going to sit in something that I don't feel fulfilled in, or if I feel like I'm being
Yeah.
mistreated, like I'm very quick to up and leave. Poof, I'm gone. I'm not like a double back type of person. I think that's from my mom because she has no tolerance for
Yeah.
BS. Like, none. She has been single my whole life.
Yo, my mom got remarried and like it was a shock to everyone because she was single my entire life. Like when I mean
Yeah.
there was no boyfriends, there was no relationships.
At least she never introduced me to anybody for real.
Never introduced me to everyone,
No.
anyone. That's why when my mom got remarried, I was like,
When did you even meet this
what?
man? Like,
You're
where
getting
did
married? Like are
where
you
did
being
this
like
man
serious?
come from?
And my mom was the same way in the sense where she was so like you don't need a man that like I think she realized that she kind of like
Did it too much?
did it too much because now she's
Now it's like, oh.
yeah. And now my mom's looking at me like she's like, you need a boyfriend. And I'm like, I'm fine. And she's like, no.
I feel like I'm in the opposite where it's like, I really do want
Yeah.
a relationship, but I have such like negative thoughts about like, not, well, yeah, I have like such
Okay.
negative thoughts about it because I'm like, my mom always told me we don't need one.
Yeah.
And it's hard to believe in something that you've never seen. So if
That's very
I've never
true.
had an example of like what a relationship should look like or what it looks like to have a partnership, I think even though part of me really wants one, I get avoidant if I like get in certain positions because it just feels too
Yeah.
foreign or it's too scary. Like I'm so used to being
Yeah.
alone.
I just
I think
like
that's also a single mom effect that we don't talk about enough.
no, it really is. Because like I'm not gonna lie, one thing that I am insecure about is I feel like I don't know how to be a good like girlfriend or a good partner because
I've never really been one in my adult
yeah,
life to even know.
because it's like I never grew up seeing anything, so I don't know what's
like
normal.
how are you supposed to
Yeah.
know?
And then I was in a long distance relationship for a couple of years, which was so it's like I could be a girlfriend for like a weekend or like and then I would go back to my life. And I'm such a go work focused person that I've even sat there and thought I'm like, do I know how to
And something
be a
about those
girl?
like long distance dynamics
Yeah.
bring me comfort because I'm like
You're
if
over
you
there.
were in my space all the time, I think I would get too much anxiety or I wouldn't know how to like deal with that. Like I
Yeah.
need the space, probably because I'm not used to like someone being around all the
Yeah.
time. So that's something that is a problem for later that I'll probably have to figure out like what is that about. But right now like there's so many other things that
Yeah.
matter more than relationships. But I do think it's like damn.
Yeah.
Maybe
I mean,
that's why like I've never prioritized it?
I feel like I always kind of prioritized it myself because
Did
it was
you?
missing. And I'm a lover. I'm such a lover. But now I'm at a point where, don't get me wrong, like I want a relationship, but I'm almost like scared because I will like not focus on what I'm doing because I'll try to be
You'll get
perfect in that
distracted.
realm. And I'll try to be good in that realm because I'm insecure about how good I am as a partner. So I'm gonna pour everything into that, and then it's like pour everything into that just to like for it to not work.
And like we said, as women, it's so easy when you get in a dynamic and really like someone to just put your stuff on hold because
Yeah.
you want to be, at least when I was younger, like I wanted to be in your space and be around you and be supporting you all the time. And like, I'm not like,
Supporting yourself as
again, that is
much.
such female nature to just naturally want to give. It's like men do not put their life on hold when they like
No.
someone. They're still doing whatever they have to do, and they'll be like, I'll
Yeah.
get back. I'll get to you when I can."
If anything, men, you will be the first one to get cut out when they realize they're doing that too
Exactly.
much.
And so I'm like, why are we so like just willing to like
Put
no.
everything on hold. Yeah,
I'm not doing that again.
I can't see
I can't
myself
see
like
that.
putting, yeah. I mean, it's like, don't get me wrong, I want a healthy relationship, but then there has to be a compromise, and like what I do has to be just as valued.
That's the part.
Yeah.
I feel like it's never not okay, I don't want to be negative, but I feel like
No.
it never is. I feel like it never is.
I feel like it
Ugh.
depends on who you're with, right? Because
I feel like their stuff always
yeah.
seems like it's so like, okay, my life is important too. I have things going on too.
You know what it is? They look at, a lot of men look at women as like, you'll always be able to find something to support you or to support yourself because you're a woman and you're pretty, and they don't realize that's actually not that simple. And men look at like their entire value, self-value and self-worth is dependent on their capacity to provide.
Yeah. I think for me, I just want to stay away, like I've learned to try to stay away from dynamics where you're just an accessory to somebody's life.
No,
Like a
you're
lot
way
of
more
them
than
view
that.
you, in my experience, I have been viewed a lot of times as an accessory to somebody's life, rather than like a whole person with her own career and goals and trajectory. And so I think that dynamic is just something I no longer, at my age now, will play into. But
You
that's hard. A
shouldn't.
lot of women get pulled into that, I think.
Because it's easy to get pulled into that. Because a lot of
Very.
the times when you are in that dynamic where you're an accessory, there's so much being offered to you. That makes it like, I mean, I could. But I think it's also important to remember that, like, Jaya, you're so intelligent. Like, you're so much more than an accessory.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
You are.
And I really, that's been my favorite thing about this whole year. Just like really getting back to my studies. I mean, I know education isn't for everyone, but for me, school has really just been able to show me who I am again and just different, like what my skills are and not letting that part go. So sometimes you do have to just make a change
Yeah.
and you'll realize you'll get back to yourself.
What helped me get back to myself was literally doing all this, like, mindset, affirmations, all of these
Yeah,
things that made me realize that, like,
love it.
I
Love
can
it.
do whatever I put my mind to. Even the entire reason I started this podcast was because,
Yeah, why
like,
did you start this podcast? Kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, I
Yeah.
love it, but yeah.
I got tired of people thinking I was stupid. Like,
No, seriously. Like, we have thoughts.
yeah, like we have
We are
thoughts.
actually very deep people.
And I wanted to highlight, especially
Yeah.
on my first season, is like beautiful women that have depth. That was my biggest thing. That's why all of the women that have been
Aw.
on this season have been like gorgeous, so, like trailblazers in their own rights, intelligent. Like I'm so grateful to know all of you and like the capacities that I know you guys. I wanted to start this because I would have conversations with people, and I always say that I never have surface level conversations. Most of the conversations I have go into depth of some sort. And when I would have these conversations with people that don't know me past being a model, I would always get oh wow, you're actually like really smart.
Oh my God, I get that
All the
the
time.
time. all the time. Like, wow, I didn't
Yeah.
know you had this much to you. And it is true. Like, how
Yeah.
do you show people more of that? I mean, it's hard because online we are a brand of
Yeah.
a certain thing. And I feel like you want to start to show people more, but you just don't know how it might get received. But
And
I
it's like,
do,
how do you do it organically?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I'm not just gonna start, like, I'm not just gonna prop up my iPhone and start talking
Just
about,
start
like,
yapping.
this is what I learned about, like, quantum mechanics after watching, like, do you wanna know how physics works? I'll explain it to you. Like, that's
They're gonna
insane.
be like, are you okay?
Yeah, no.
But no,
But,
we are. I think this is a great option to really show people that. And I do hope that
yeah.
people learn that about you and all of us. It's weird how we make so many assumptions about people just off of kind of how they present, you know?
Yeah, and then that assumption is what essentially, like,
Yeah.
dictates how you see that person in your life and in your
And how
reality.
you see yourself, how other people
Yeah.
treat you is how, if you allow it to internalize, then that's how you're going to view yourself. And so I think what you think about you matters the most.
100%.
Like internalizing other people's perceptions of you is so dangerous, I think.
Extremely. That's why I sat there and I was just like, okay, I know I'm smart. I think I'm smart. How do I get other people to see that? And like people, I would have conversations, I would spark conversations, and I would be with friends, and they'd be like, oh my God, we should record this, or like, you should have a podcast, or you should do this. And then the opportunity kind of like fell into my lap to start a podcast. And I swear I put this whole thing together in like 2 to 3 weeks.
Love it.
And I also saw that, like, I feel like there is a need for my kind of podcast because podcasts have become so negative in the sense where it's like it's all clickbait, it's all like women and men
True.
talking about like what they hate about the other gender, and I'm so
Yeah, the
tired of
most popular
that.
ones are very like
Clickbaity,
severe.
red pill.
Yeah. It's very like
Yeah,
on extremes. And I get it because
that's what
that's what
sells.
baits views and engagement.
But then
But
also, what builds a community is consistency. Like, I've
yeah.
read somewhere that I believe like less than like 10% of podcasts get to 20 episodes. But then when you get to those 20 episodes, you're already automatically in the top percentile of podcasts because of the amount of podcasts that even get to that point. So, like, with every single thing I've done in my life, I'm like, let me just be consistent. The people who I want to listen are going to listen. The people who want to learn and who want to find out about different kinds of people are going to tune in. And I've had really good feedback so far. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's been a journey and I'm really grateful
Hopefully I
for
don't
it.
break your streak.
Girl, no. No, because in the same breath that like you are saying like you're like okay, like some things I feel are negative, you're also catching yourself in that moment.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's important because that means you're growing and you're learning and you're changing.
I
So,
am. We're all on our own little journeys.
exactly.
No one's perfect. You know, we
Mm-mm.
all have our hard moments. But I am so proud of you for doing something like this. I hope that the world does see, you know, your intrinsic value, you know. Being another thing that I have really learned is being beautiful on the inside, like as dumb and corny as that sounds, it really is more important.
Way more
It really
important.
is. It really, really is. Yeah. So,
No,
yes.
thank you. And I'm so proud of you with like everything that you're doing. Like you are about to launch and make such a difference in such a male dominated field, which is like insane because you're absolutely gorgeous. And I also want to know because my producers like wrap it up. I want I want to know before you go, like how has that been? How do you juggle with like being such this like beautiful, intelligent woman and then getting into a field that is more male dominated?
I think it comes with confidence. Like, you are like, we're already in a situation in our life, even as models, where people just assume that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know what you're doing and you're not that smart. And it's no different in sports. If anything, it's probably worse because now it's all these men, you know, just assuming that you don't know what you're doing or you're just another face that doesn't know. So I think my confidence in this field has come from preparation. Like the more prepared and the more knowledgeable that you are about everything, and it is more pressure. You do have to be more on your P's and Q's. You do have to be more professional because people are going to assume that you're not.
Yeah.
But as long as you do that, like you know your stuff, you're confident in yourself, you don't shrink. Like sometimes when you're in a room filled with a bunch of men, it can be intimidating. You might want to shrink. And I know when I was younger, I wasn't as comfortable in my voice. But now that I have been on camera, I've interviewed, I've talked to people, and I know that I know what I'm doing because my confidence in my intelligence has grown so much.
Yeah.
It's easy. I don't even feel it anymore. Like, I know that I did the work that it took to be here and that I belong here. And I think any woman working in male-dominated fields, you have to have that confidence that you belong there. You are qualified or you wouldn't be in that room, you know? So you just can't let, like, any insecurities get you in those moments. And that's been great. It's been so like empowering, truly. And it's so important that more women enter those spaces. And, my biggest goal has always been to be a voice of representation and to show other women that you can do whatever you put your mind to, no matter what you look like, no matter how crazy your hair is or your appearance, or if someone doesn't think you belong, like, yeah, you can, as long as you do the hard work. So, yeah, that's been my biggest goal with sports from the beginning. I just love getting to know people. I love telling the deeper narratives behind sports and showing bigger aspects than just plays and stats. I mean, I cover plays and stats too. I do game stories, I write, I do scripts. It's a full encompassment of multimedia journalism, but I think my favorite parts have just been really digging deeper, getting to know the person behind the athlete or behind the coach, and kind of sports are a microcosm of life. So there's something that we can all take away, and that's what I talk about a lot on my own podcast.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You do have a podcast.
I do have a podcast.
Please tell me about it. I mean, I already know about it, but like tell them about it.
I have a podcast. It's called Curls of the Game.
Cute.
And it's with another sports journalist. Her name is Chloe Clark. She's a sideline reporter out in LA for Big West. And we came together and made that platform really for the reasons I was telling you. A lot of things we talk about are just digging deeper and going into deeper narratives. And we called it Curls of the Game because we think it's so important that women in sports media embrace what makes them unique and embrace what makes us stand out as reporters. So we both, just like you and I, were both natural women, and we embraced what makes us different, and we used that to kind of foster a different perspective and a different conversation regarding sports media and sports narratives. So that's really the main thing of our podcast. And it's been so much fun developing that and branding it, and we want to get some new guests on soon, so it's super exciting. And yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love everything that you're working on. I love when women. Like, I love.
We're just the best.
Yeah.
No offense. Like, women are just so amazing, especially when we finally believe that we can do whatever we put our minds to.
Oh my gosh.
I
love
believe.
this.
And I think all women can, honestly.
I do too. So that's why I can't wait to just see everything that you evolve into and continue evolving into through modeling, through sports journalism, through your podcast, even like the Jaya that you're becoming and that you are. Please continue to like blossom into this beautiful person.
Oh, thank you. You
because
too.
I
I'm
love
so
seeing
proud of you
this.
too.
I'm so proud. I can't wait. Send me the grad party details. Send me the links.
No, you have to pull up. It's going to be crazy. I cannot even believe
Oh my
that year
gosh.
flew by. So, but no, this has been such an enlightening conversation.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing this beautiful space with me.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This has been great.
And thank you guys all for getting cozy with us. I've been your host, Josie Lentner. You can find me at Josie Lentner and at Get Cozy with Josie's Pod. And now I'm going to let Jaya plug everything that she needs to plug.
Yes, thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. You can find me at Jaya Araye on Instagram. That's JayaAraye. I am at Just Jaya on TikTok, and you can follow my podcast on Spotify, Instagram, and YouTube at Curls of the Game. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys. Stay cozy. Bye.